The passage of time is an interesting phenomenon, particularly when we observe how it intersects with the relentless gaze of modern celebrity culture and the rigid timelines that society quietly yet fiercely tries to impose on our lives. In an era dominated by instantaneous digital commentary and an underlying obsession with youth, the choices individuals make regarding their personal journeys are continuously laid bare for public consumption, judgment, and debate. We live in a world that thrives on setting unspoken expiration dates, mapping out exactly when a person should achieve career success, when they should settle down, and most notably, when the window for building a family should gracefully close. This collective fixated glare creates a strange paradox where the deeply intimate, transformative decisions of human existence are transformed into public spectacles, dissected by millions of strangers hiding behind glowing screens. Yet, beneath the noise of internet forums and social media feeds, a silent but powerful revolution has been unfolding, challenging decades of conventional wisdom and rewriting the narrative of what it means to step into new chapters of life. It is a transformation that speaks to autonomy, resilience, and the beautifully unpredictable nature of human destiny, showing us that the traditional milestones we once viewed as set in stone are far more fluid than we ever dared to imagine. As we begin this deep exploration into these changing dynamics, we invite you to become a permanent part of our community by subscribing to the channel so you never miss our deep dives into the stories that shape our culture and challenge our perspectives. The scrutiny surrounding these life choices becomes even more glaring when we contrast the differing standards applied to public figures based entirely on gender. A double standard so deeply ingrained that it often passes without a single raised eyebrow. For generations, the cultural narrative has celebrated the aging man, viewing his later years as a period of distinguished wisdom, extended vitality, and uninterrupted capability, especially when it comes to the expansion of his family. When male icons in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s welcome new life into the world, the public reaction is almost universally filled with awe, casual acceptance, or lighthearted congratulation, framing it as a testament to their enduring legacy and timeless strength. There are no intense debates about biology, no anxious articles questioning their long-term stamina, and no wave of uninvited commentary analyzing the ethics of their timelines. Instead, the world simply nods and moves on, accepting that a man's clock is as vast and open as his ambitions. However, when the focus shifts to women who choose to navigate the identical path of welcoming children during the mature, deeply self-aware chapters of their lives, the tone changes instantly and dramatically. The collective conversation shifts from celebration to skepticism, replacing admiration with a barrage of intrusive questions, unsolicited medical opinions, and thinly veiled judgments that mask themselves as concern. It is a stark reminder of the persistent boundaries placed around the female body and the lingering societal discomfort with women who refuse to let external timelines dictate the trajectory of their personal fulfillment and happiness. This brings us to a remarkable shift that has captured the global spotlight over the course of recent months. As several highly prominent and globally recognized women have shared deeply personal milestones that completely disrupt these archaic expectations. These announcements did not just make headlines, they ignited a massive, polarized wave of online discourse that exposed the raw nerves of contemporary cultural attitudes toward motherhood, aging, and female autonomy. The digital landscape immediately erupted into an intense battleground of opinions, proving that despite the massive strides made toward gender equality, a woman's right to choose her own path toward family remains one of the most scrutinized subjects in modern society. Critics and commentators online wasted no time in unleashing an endless stream of analysis, dissecting everything from health statistics to personal motives, as if a woman's deeply private joy required a public license to exist. This sudden explosion of intense public interest serves as the perfect catalyst for a much broader, highly necessary conversation about why we remain so uncomfortable with women who claim their power later in life. It forces us to look beyond the surface of celebrity gossip and examine the underlying biases that continue to shape how we view the intersection of age, motherhood, and self-determination. Rather than viewing these beautiful moments of new life through a lens of harsh judgment or rigid tradition, there is a growing realization that these journeys deserve to be celebrated as triumphs of love, patience, and the ultimate expression of personal freedom. To understand the full depth of this unfolding cultural shift, we must look at the pioneers who are actively demonstrating that age is entirely irrelevant when it comes to the capacity for love and parental dedication. Think of the global icons who have balanced the immense pressures of international fame with the quiet, profound realities of bringing new life into the world during their fourth decade and beyond. For instance, consider the incredible journey of a world-renowned supermodel who captured global attention when it was revealed that she was expecting a child at the age of 44, embarking on a beautiful new chapter with her partner. This announcement came at a time when she was already successfully raising two teenagers from a previous high-profile marriage. Navigating the delicate transition from parenting independent young adults to caring for a newborn baby boy who recently celebrated his very first birthday. This deliberate choice to return to the world of sleepless nights, baby bottles, and early childhood development at a time when most people are looking forward to increased personal freedom is a testament to an enduring commitment to family. It highlights a profound truth that many women discover as they grow older, that the wisdom, emotional stability, and deep sense of self achieved in one's 40s provide an entirely different, incredibly rich foundation for raising a child. Far from being a period of limitation, this stage of life can represent the ultimate sweet spot of parenting, where the frantic anxieties of youth are replaced by a calm, grounded presence that benefits both mother and child in ways that younger years rarely allow. As we look closer at these inspiring narratives, we see a consistent thread of deliberate choice, emotional maturity, and absolute refusal to be defined by societal limitations. Another brilliant example is an iconic, award-winning actress celebrated for her fierce and unforgettable cinematic roles, who welcomed her third child, a beautiful daughter, at the age of 42, long after her older children had grown. This transition highlighted how motherhood can be beautifully rediscovered and reimagined across different eras of a person's life, showing that a family is not a static structure built in a single decade, but a living, evolving ecosystem that can expand whenever the heart is ready. Similarly, another acclaimed actress and style icon openly shared her decision to proactively freeze her eggs at the milestone age of 40, an act of foresight that allowed her to welcome a child a year later, followed by another beautiful addition to her family just recently at 44. By speaking with refreshing, unfiltered honesty about the gendered double standards and misogynistic undertones that pollute public discussions around maternal age, she effectively shattered the myth that numbers define a woman's viability or worth. These women are proving through their lived experiences that the concepts of timing and readiness are entirely subjective, reminding a judgmental world that the true essence of motherhood lies not in conforming to a rigid biological deadline, but in the depth of love, grace, and self-awareness that a mother pours into the soul of her child. The journey of mature motherhood is not merely a collection of isolated, high-profile announcements. It is a profound testament to human resilience and the incredible advancements of modern science that allow women to claim agency over their reproductive destinies. When we dive deeper into the core of these experiences, we uncover stories of intense dedication, emotional grit, and a willingness to confront both societal skepticism and deeply personal physical challenges. The realities of pursuing motherhood in one's 40s often require a level of perseverance that remains completely invisible to the casual observer scrolling through a carefully curated online feed. For many, this path is paved with years of quiet struggles, medical appointments, emotional roller coasters, and a steadfast refusal to abandon a deeply held dream of nurturing new life. Take, for instance, the legendary musical icon who, after experiencing the joy of raising her first biological child born in her late 30s, chose to expand her family once again at 42, welcoming a second biological son with her then-husband. Her journey did not stop there as she later opened her heart and home to 4 adopted children, beautifully demonstrating that the capacity to love, guide, and protect a child knows absolutely no boundaries of age, genetics, or traditional timeline. This powerful example illustrates that a mature woman's ability to provide a nurturing environment is magnified by her life experiences, her global perspective, and the undeniable emotional stability that only comes with time and self-reflection. As we look at the contemporary landscape, the stories become even more awe-inspiring, showcasing women who manage demanding global careers while simultaneously embarking on these deeply personal adventures. Just recently, a critically acclaimed actress, beloved globally for her brilliant performances, shocked and delighted fans worldwide when she unveiled her third pregnancy at 43. Managing an exhausting, high-intensity global promotional tour for a major cinematic sequel while quietly carrying a child, she redefined what it means to balance professional excellence with maternal ambition. Those closest to her described her work ethic as nothing short of superhuman, a sentiment that resonates deeply with millions of working women who constantly navigate the complex intersection of career milestones and family growth. This remarkable display of strength serves as a vivid reminder that a woman in her 40s is often at the absolute peak of her powers, possessing a unique blend of professional confidence, emotional resilience, and physical stamina that shatters the outdated stereotype of the fragile, aging, expectant mother. Instead of retreating from the world, these women are stepping forward into the brightest spotlights, carrying new life with an unshakable sense of pride, grace, and undeniable authority. The history of cultural icons redefining these timelines stretches back further than the current digital age, showing us that this empowerment has been quietly building for decades through the choices of pioneering women. One of the greatest cinematic artists of all time, celebrated for her unparalleled versatility and depth, welcomed her fourth child in the early 90s just as she was about to celebrate her 42nd birthday. At a time when the conversation around maternal age was far more rigid and less supported by widespread medical understanding, her choice was a quiet but significant act of defiance against the conventional wisdom of the era. This historical perspective is essential because it reminds us that the desire to build a family when one feels truly ready is a timeless human impulse, not a passing modern trend or a superficial celebrity fad. It highlights the reality that women have always possessed the intuition to know when their hearts, minds, and lives are perfectly aligned to welcome a new generation. Regardless of what the contemporary cultural handbook might dictate as the appropriate or acceptable age limit, for many women who find themselves entering motherhood on the mature side of 40, the experience is described not as a burden or a risk, but as a profound, life-altering miracle that brings an unparalleled sense of gratitude and perspective. An acclaimed Academy Award-winning actress who celebrated becoming a first-time mother to twins at 48 alongside her husband, spoke eloquently about the unique advantages of this delayed timing. Reflecting on her pregnancies, she noted that embarking on this journey in her late 60s or late 40s allowed her to give to her children in a way that would have been completely impossible during her more turbulent 20s or 30s. She emphasized that the decades spent building her career, discovering her identity, and doing her own deep personal work provided her with an abundance of patience, self-awareness, and grace that she could now bestow upon her babies. In her youth, the focus was naturally centered on self-discovery, professional ambition, and establishing her place in a competitive world. By waiting until she had fully achieved those goals, she could completely step away from the need to focus on herself. This shift in perspective transforms parenting from a stressful balancing act into a deeply intentional, fully present experience where the child receives the absolute best, most grounded version of their mother. This sentiment of a late-stage pregnancy feeling like an unexpected, beautiful gift is echoed across the artistic community by women who had reached a point of acceptance regarding their lives, only to be surprised by joy. Another iconic actress and independent film star who welcomed her first child at 45 with her husband openly described the entire experience as an absolute miracle, confessing that she had reached a point where she truly did not believe it would ever happen for her. The sheer wonder of experiencing pregnancy at a stage in life when society tells women that their biological opportunities have vanished creates a profound sense of appreciation and humility. It forces a complete reassessment of what is possible, instilling a deep respect for the mysterious, unpredictable rhythms of life that refuse to conform to the neat, orderly boxes constructed by human statistics. When these women hold their children for the first time, the years of waiting, the societal whispers, and the internal doubts completely melt away, replaced by the overwhelming realization that their timing was, in fact, absolutely perfect for them. The path to this late-stage maternal bliss is frequently marked by intense private heartbreaks and lengthy medical interventions, making the ultimate arrival of a child an even more significant triumph of the human spirit. One of Hollywood's most enduring and respected leading ladies has been incredibly transparent about the severe fertility struggles she endured during her youth, including a traumatic ectopic pregnancy and a devastating miscarriage. These painful experiences eventually led her to build a beautiful family through adoption during her 20s, proving that motherhood comes in many divine forms. Yet life had more surprises in store, and during her 40s, she experienced the profound joy of welcoming two biological daughters with her second husband, showcasing that a woman's reproductive journey can have multiple, completely distinct acts. Her willingness to share these deeply personal chapters helps to demystify the complex realities of fertility, offering immense comfort and hope to countless women who are currently navigating their own painful, uncertain paths toward building a family later in life. Similarly, the journey of an iconic, award-winning dramatic actress highlights the extraordinary lengths to which women will go to fulfill their maternal dreams, demonstrating a level of endurance that is truly awe-inspiring. Alongside her husband, she embarked on a grueling, 7-year-long in vitro fertilization journey that tested the limits of their emotional, physical, and financial resources. After nearly a decade of relentless effort, hope, and disappointment, their beautiful twins were born via surrogate when the actress was 47 years old. This story is a powerful reminder that modern motherhood is a tapestry woven from love, science, and unyielding determination, where the traditional boundaries of biology are continuously expanded by human ingenuity and faith. It underscores the truth that a mother's love begins long before a child is ever born, existing in the fierce, unbroken commitment to bring that child into existence against all medical odds and societal expectations. The emotional complexity of navigating these paths is further illustrated by the experiences of a legendary pop icon who, along with her husband, welcomed a son when she was 44, more than a decade after the birth of her first child. She spoke candidly about the intense difficulties of trying to conceive in her 40s, revealing that she had initially turned to assisted reproductive technologies, only to face the heartbreak of failure. Having reached a place of quiet acceptance that her family might not expand further, the sudden, completely natural conception of her son felt like a divine intervention that defied all logical explanation. These narratives reveal that behind the glamorous exterior of fame lies a shared human experience of vulnerability, longing, and the ultimate surrender to the forces of nature, reminding us that every single child born to a mother in her 40s is a story of profound hope and resilience. The profound realization that motherhood can be embraced, redefined, and fully realized in the later chapters of life brings us to the ultimate truth of this global phenomenon. It is an enduring celebration of love, destiny, and personal sovereignty. For so long, the societal conversation around older mothers was conducted in hushed tones, shrouded in unnecessary secrecy, or framed as an exceptional risk. An iconic matriarch of reality television recently reflected on how having her youngest daughters in her early 40s during the 1990s was viewed as an absolute taboo, a controversial choice that generated quiet whispers and persistent doubts about biological safety and maternal capability. Yet looking back from the vantage point of the present day, those whispers seem entirely obsolete, drowned out by the vibrant, highly successful lives of the children born from those choices. This historical contrast illuminates just how far we have come, moving steadily away from a culture of fear and moving toward a culture of deep gratitude, appreciation, and unyielding support for women who choose to rewrite the rules of their own lives. The profound sense of appreciation that accompanies a mature pregnancy is a recurring melody among these extraordinary women, who possess the emotional depth to recognize the immense privilege of bringing new life into the world. A celebrated Academy Award-winning actress recently confirmed that she is expecting her third child at 44, marking a beautiful new beginning with her musician partner. Reflecting on this blessing, she spoke with immense humility about how deeply lucky she felt, recognizing that the gift of fertility later in life is a precious reality that many struggle for years to achieve. Her awareness of the difficulties faced by so many loved ones did not diminish her joy. Instead, it elevated her pregnancy into a sacred experience characterized by deep appreciation, reverence, and an acute understanding of the miraculous nature of conception. This maturity allows an older mother to harbor a unique kind of gratitude, a peaceful realization that her child is arriving at a time when the chaotic noise of early ambition has settled, leaving behind a clear, unburdened space dedicated entirely to nurturing a new soul. This intentionality is precisely what makes the stories of late-stage family building so compelling and universally inspiring. Consider the highly acclaimed British actress who, along with her husband, announced she was expecting a child in her late 40s, welcoming a beautiful daughter when she was 48. Their choice was not about fulfilling an external expectation, but about completing the beautiful puzzle of their shared life, ensuring that as the years progressed, they would never look back with a lingering sense of what might have been. Similarly, a beloved Hollywood powerhouse chose the beautiful path of adoption to build her family, welcoming her son at 45 and her daughter at 51. Reflecting on her path, she expressed profound gratitude that the universe had forced her to wait, disrupting her initial anxieties and eagerness to teach her that the most beautiful journeys are rarely the ones we plan step by step. By surrendering to a timeline greater than her own, she became the exact mother her children needed, proving that the bond of family is forged in the fires of love, patience, and divine timing. Rather than strict biological synchronicity, the boundaries of what society deems possible continue to expand as iconic women enter motherhood well into their fifth decade, showcasing an extraordinary zest for life and an absolute refusal to let traditional age markers define their capacity for joy. A legendary global supermodel made the stunning announcement that she had welcomed her first child at 50 and her second at 53 via surrogacy, boldly declaring to the world that it is truly never too late to become a mother. By maintaining a fierce privacy over her children's lives while simultaneously standing as a beacon of possibility, she has inspired millions of women worldwide to view their 50s not as a time of winding down, but as a vibrant, expansive era capable of holding the ultimate beginnings. This sentiment is shared by an iconic cinematic actress who recently welcomed her third child at the age of 53 alongside her husband. Describing this chapter as the ultimate sweet spot of her entire existence, she noted that choosing family in the second half of life requires an extraordinary amount of hard work, deliberate intention, and conscious sacrifice. Unlike the effortless, almost automatic choices of youth, mature motherhood is a profound manifestation of free will, a beautiful evidence of a woman who knows exactly who she is and actively chooses to dedicate her hard-earned wisdom to the growth of another human being. The beautiful surprises of life continue to manifest in the entertainment world, as evidenced by recent reports that a famously quirky and brilliant actress is expecting her first child at 42 with her partner, following a deeply emotional and transformative year. This upcoming arrival stands as a powerful symbol of renewal and blessing, a reminder that new beginnings can blossom beautifully at any station in life when the heart is open to receive them. This theme of hard-fought victory is also central to the story of a well-known reality television star who openly shared her intense journey with in vitro fertilization, eventually welcoming her first daughter at 47. Her willingness to lay bare the vulnerabilities of late-stage conception offered a lifeline of hope to women everywhere who felt isolated by their own reproductive struggles. In a similar vein, an iconic actress and author detailed the immense emotional toll of multiple failed fertility treatments in her memoir, revealing that she and her husband were at their absolute wits' end, ready to abandon their efforts, before deciding to try one final time, resulting in the birth of their second daughter when the actress was 40. These stories illuminate the raw, unvarnished human truth behind the headlines, that mature motherhood is often a sanctuary built upon a foundation of relentless perseverance, tears, and an unbreakable belief in the possible. The profound peace that comes with welcoming children later in life is perhaps best articulated by those who recognize that they are simply better, more complete human beings than they were in their younger decades. A globally revered actress who had her daughter at 41 emphasized that she would absolutely not have it any other way, explaining that having achieved her life goals allowed her to make her child her absolute number one priority without a single shred of resentment or a feeling of missing out on the world. She noted that her daughter received a far more patient, fulfilled, and grounded mother than she could have ever provided 10 or 15 years prior. This beautiful sentiment is echoed by an acclaimed star who shares two daughters with her partner, having given birth at 40 and 42. She fiercely dismissed the societal narrative that older mothers are simply too tired, labeling the stereotype completely ridiculous. Reflecting on her own youth, she admitted with characteristic honesty that her 20s were filled with chaos and self-absorption, making her entirely unready to guide a child. It was only through the passage of time, the development of intense patience, and the cultivation of self-awareness that she became capable of stepping into the sacred role of a mother, raising her children in the only era of her life where she was truly equipped to do so. Every single one of these narratives, from the quiet adoptions to the high-tech fertility triumphs and the breathtaking natural surprises, contributes to a magnificent, overarching tapestry of modern womanhood. Whether it is a celebrated dramatic actress welcoming her third child at 40, a legendary vocal powerhouse navigating 6 grueling rounds of in vitro fertilization to deliver her miracle twins at 42, an Oscar-winning icon having her daughter just before her 42nd birthday, an international supermodel welcoming a miracle child at 45 after failed medical interventions, or a brilliant comedic writer choosing to expand her family at 42 to ensure no piece of her heart was left behind. The message is clear and unified. A woman's life, her body, and her journey toward family belong entirely to her, completely independent of the arbitrary timelines imposed by an anxious and judgmental world. As these extraordinary women continue to lead by example, they leave behind a legacy of empowerment, proving that when a mother steps into her role with maturity, grace, and an abundance of life experience, she creates a beautiful, unshakable sanctuary where love can flourish without limits throughout every single season of existence.